Alrighty. Are we ready to go then? I'm going to, this is actually going to be 2 runs in one. It's, the Tales of the Soul is the main feature, but I've basically done this as a spin to win showcase, showing off how broken Xianghua is in Soulcalibur 3. Thank you, Shirtel, for getting that incentive met. That's going to be really great. We're going to start with something pretty simple. The quick play is SC3's version of arcade mode. These are the default settings. You can tell that they are because they're green. If I change it to hard or easy, it turns normal. So you can adjust the difficulty even here. In the standard speedrun for SC3, we basically go on default mode, which is normal, 2 battles, wins, and a battle time of 50 with no bonus weapons. So as soon as I select Xianghua, we're going to start the timer, and then I'll immediately be going as quick as I can from quick play into Tales of Souls to really show off the heart of this run. And there was a bid war for the color costume, but I don't believe any donations were made for that, so I'm just going to use my favorite default color here. Yes, indeed. Or just nothing but the Great Wall of China, actually. Alright, here we go. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. And the name of this game is simply Spin to Win. And there's RNG here, which is basically just whether the AI attacks me low or mid while I'm doing my spin. Once I get them in the spin, they're just done. You don't actually get to see me. Normally I speedrun the action RPG 3-hour run of this game, Chronicles of the Sword, which and I do make use of this on my main character, but because it's an RPG and stats matter, and only the weakest character class can use Xianghua, it's not actually as powerful as it otherwise could be. This is how dominant it is in a normal setting. If the AI doesn't attack me mid or low when I'm starting the combo, they're just done. And it's just an AI, kind of an AI bug. It just doesn't know how to handle the attack. I think that because Soulcalibur 3 has so many additional weapons and all the custom created options, the AI is not properly programmed to deal with some moves and abilities. And this is the one that it has the absolute hardest time with. So this is the easiest speedrun in the entire existence, really. I am literally pressing 2 buttons in combat. Of course, I also have my controller set up to make use of this. This is A plus kick, holding B plus kick, which are not default options on a controller, but I use a lot of, not only on Xianghua, but on other characters too, I use a lot of the A kick and B kick combo buttons, so... Yes, yeah, her forward AB, which I'll show off right here, that is very similar, comes out very quickly, and she also sidesteps that. Especially when I'm playing Chronicles of the Sword, I use that ability as a mix-up quite a bit too, in order to fool the enemy and get off to a good start, because oftentimes, especially later on in the Chronicles, the AI will automatically intercept me when I start the spin, but starting with the Charging Great Wall. Yep. There are certain other characters and movesets that are also fairly broken, but this is the very best one. It's just that the AI almost always gets up exactly... That's actually bad AI when they don't get up because they don't get knocked down again. That's about the worst thing that can happen. The only bad thing that can happen when I have the combo going. Thank you for taunting. And it also rings out pretty good as well. Oops, that's a misclick. This is gonna be bad. Okay, I've got her. Whew, that was actually almost scary. For actual arcade, you can use other styles as well. So the fastest is actually the katana weapon style. Arthur, if you're just using base special character. Because of how well the shoulder charge works. That's the next best attack. But it can't work for story mode. But without the special weapons and things, it generally has an overall better attack damage. As well as being a little bit harder to intercept because it comes out a bit faster. Take a seat, please. And now just stay there. And that's quick play. Now we'll be moving on to the Tales of Souls, where, thanks to Shurdell, we're going to get to see the Night Terror route. Which is very difficult to do. I do have a semi-backup if I fail to do it, but I actually have enough time in my estimate to try again if I end up failing early enough. But I can do this really reliably thanks to the power of spin to win. And in story mode, we get to use Soulcalibur, which you thought it was bad before. Now see the power of Soulcalibur added to this. Soulcalibur 3 was the first of the Soulcalibur series to add an interesting story mode that was more than just a basic arcade. 3 hits. Done. Okay, now I have to select option 2. You have to select the exact right option in the branching paths of the story mode in order to have a chance to fight Ulkadan and Night Terror, the secret bosses. And you have to make sure not to lose a single battle and continue until you until the end, basically. Also, the other weird thing about this story mode is the interactive cutscenes. You can't skip these cutscenes because you actually have to act in them or pay the consequences. So Zasamel lures us into this clock tower and tries to get rid of us. Wait for it. Oh no, he threw a giant gear at us. Dodge aside. If you let that hit you and don't press right, you lose half of your life.
Well, this is certainly a welcome. Now it's my turn.
Versus Zasalamel. Fight.
Her taunt is a perfect ending to this.
I told you I won't.
Versus Revenant. Fight.
Okay. Okay, good. I was a bit worried there for a second. Sometimes, and again, just like in Soulcalibur 6, if the AI decides to act inappropriately, things can just go bad. Now we have another interactive cutscene. There are, I believe, 3 of these. Astaroth, Raphael, and... Now I can't think who the third one is, but usually most routes in the middle of it will meet either one of those 3 and have to deal with an interactive cutscene before they fight the person. No, Cervantes, that's the third one. If you don't parry that, you end up poisoned. Which means very little, especially since Soulcalibur is so powerful. It increases attack power and also restores my health over time, so it totally nullifies poison on its own. Okay, now the very important fight. I not only have to win this fight, I cannot ring out my opponent or else I don't get the bonus bosses. It's a weird, quirky thing in it, and I don't know quite why it is, unless it's supposed to be semi-story based, but... No worries, though. Now we're into the bonus fights. Normally I'd be going through these menus a lot quicker, or trying to, but I want to make sure not to mess up since I'm on Night Terror route. If I make a wrong decision in any of these as well, that's it. Now we proceed further in. At this point in a normal speedrun, I'd back out and immediately go to the 2 final battles. But it skips a lot of extra cutscenes and stuff by going this way, but... Now I have to fight in the darkness against an unknown soul, who is actually Li Long. Voila. Okay, one more time. Final decision. Approach the presence. Yes, indeed. A lot of those characters, Arthur, Li Long, Huang, appeared as the custom character, the special characters, the default characters for the special weapons made for your custom characters in this game.
So, you're getting in my way? You better be prepared.
Yeah, it did. There are more than 40 characters in this game, actually.
You win.
Did I zing ya?
One more fight before Night Terror.
I'm impressed that you made it this far. Not bad at all. My dream is about to be realized. You, however, are not worthy.
Now, if you go on a normal route and don't enter the labyrinth at all, when you come here, there's a cutscene. You have to avoid a cage. And then if you avoid the cage, you get to see the battle between between Nightmare and Siegfried. And who wins depends on which character you're playing, but they have the same cutscene both times, but one of them drops. If you get caught in the cage, you break out only to see the opposite survivor confront you. It's actually pretty interesting how they arranged it all. But because of the detour into the labyrinth, we took too long, and Zaselmel came and defeated both Siegfried and Nightmare. Collected the 2 swords, and now is about to turn into Night Terror. Here he comes. Normally you'd fight Abyss at this point. He'd throw out Soulcalibur, and if you're a Soulcalibur user, you'd be able to pick it up and use it after he destroys your weapon. But Night Terror, if you don't already have the ultimate weapon equipped, you have to go at it without it. Luckily I do, so. And you have to avoid this or take huge damage.
It's so powerful. I have to stop this thing.
Come on, give me a moment. Okay. Luckily, since I'm already fighting Night Terror, I can continue without worry. Man, come on. It's over. Ah, goodness. Give me a bit of breathing room. There we go.
And that's the end of that.
Shouldn't be anything from my side. Now, in addition to interactive cutscenes, you have an interactive ending. Oh, that was time, by the way, I guess.
I know you can do it.
Slightly differented out. Is
Wait. Let me do this.
So again, it's not really an official run. It's a combo of two different things, but it's normally about 5 minutes for a normal Tales of Souls run for Xianghua. When nobody was speedrunning this game before I came along and decided to do Chronicles of the Sword. And though I really like Soulcalibur, I'm more into RPGs and stuff, and so when Soulcalibur 3 came out, I really loved the Chronicles of the Sword. Then other people came along and started doing the Tales of the Souls and quick play arcade runs, speed runs. And I only dabbled in them a little bit, but they started using like Siegfried and Sofiti, just some of their favorites, and I was like, Xianghua is so much better, and just casually crushed the world record by 2 minutes after a couple people were doing that by showing off Xianghua's move. Since then, it's been taken from me, but I don't really care that much. I play other games, but it is fun to show off sometimes. It's just really absurd how easy the AI is to dominate in this game if you know the right moves. And occasionally, they can still just RNG troll you, especially with people like Night Terror, like he did there. Night Terror's gonna own you every once in a while, because he is just about as dominating as Inferno in SC6, but it's just a fun little run. A lot of people, SC3 is kind of the black sheep of the series, but it's always been my favorite. Things like, besides basic arcade, you've got these cool Tales of Souls, you've got the really awesome Chronicles of the Sword, and so many different characters and abilities to use. It's too much for the AI to handle, but it's still fun. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for meeting that incentive and letting me take out Olkadan and Night Terror. And, yeah, that's it. Next up, we have the greatest Gundam fighting game, Endless Duel. It's been years since I played that, but I played that quite a bit too, so... But that's it for me, so you can go ahead and switch off anytime.